Because you ran from the hellhole that was supposed to take care of kids who had problems, life was the best it had ever been. And how you got around was that you stole things. A lot of things. Where did you put these things that you stole? You either stuck them in walls and scared the crap out of people, or hid them in a graveyard. You and Undertaker were tight. One day, when you had nothing to do, you saw a thing of pink and yellow. Come on, Paula, it's right over here. That's a lot of pink, you muttered with an awkward smile and just stared at the girl for a second. Well, it was longer than a second, but you didn't notice until after the girl left. That was around 3 months ago. Now you two were friends after you somehow ended up swiping one of her bows. You two had made plans to meet up, and of course her watcher lady human said no, but Lizzie didn't care and practically snuck out. Lady, come back! Paula yelled to a running Lizzie. No, I'm gonna see them and you can't stop me! Lizzie yelled and giggled. Lizzie quickly rounded a corner and hid behind a wall while Paula ran off, thinking the direction she was going in was the direction that Lizzie went in. Well, that was quite the escape. You laughed and scared Lizzie to look behind her because she was checking if Paula was going to come back. She squeaked while she did. Damn it, she's cute. You laughed again and she grumbled. Come on, you were gonna show me stuff, right? Lizzie asked with a slight hop. You laughed at her with enthusiasm. Come on, Miss Bouncy. You laughed and she grumbled at you, but followed anyway. You two went to alleys that Lizzie looked at with amazement and to places in London she had never been. You two silently watched people trip, run, or just walk normally and laughed at everything that they did. And once or twice you nearly dodged Paula. Eventually you both got to a couple stands in the park. You brought her snacks and anything else that she wanted. She asked how you were able to pay for all of it, but you just shushed her before she got too suspicious. Eventually you ran out of cash and Lizzie said it was okay while you sulked. I'm gonna have to frisk some more. You groaned as Lizzie laughed. Can't you just ask for money on the streets? Or I could give you some. Lizzie smiled with enthusiasm, hoping you would listen. But then that would just make me look pathetic. And besides, I don't want to get you in trouble. You laughed while Lizzie tried to talk you into something. You two got to a sword stand selling pretty small swords considering how lengthy Lizzie's swords were. Oh, look, this is so pretty. Wish we could get it. Lizzie admired the small, basically pocket knife or letter opener of a blade. Well, you could get it. You smirked from over her shoulder. No, we can't, silly. We don't have any more. No! Lizzie realized what you were thinking and clearly disapproved of it. What? All you gotta do is just take it. You encouraged the small blonde girl. But what if I get caught? I mean, there's gotta be someone manning the store, right? Lizzie whispered close to you so no one would hear. yeah, there is. But look, he's out cold. You pointed to the man in the back, completely knocked out in the shade because of lack of business. But what if he wakes up? She whispered. He's not gonna wake up unless you wake him up. Now come on. You like it and want it, right? You encouraged once more while Lizzie thought over her options and possible outcomes. She thought for one more moment while you scanned over the area beside you and behind you just to make sure any police or good Samaritans that might just rat you two out. She stared at the small blade before hugging it close and looking around frantically. I took it! She whispered. There we go, that wasn't so hard, was it? You laughed. Ah, you too. The both of you froze stiffly and slowly turned your heads around. I think we should run, Lizzie whispered. Yeah, that's a good idea. Go. You whispered back and the both of you sprinted away while the police chased you. Lizzie was completely freaking out and running as fast as she could in that poofy jest of hers while you laughed at everybody. You rather quickly rounded a corner and grabbed Lizzie before she ran off and hugged her. She blushed a little bit but stayed quiet. Once they were gone, you both let out a sigh of relief. Lizzie then realized what she just did. Oh my god, Ciel's gonna be so mad at me! You could see small tears of fear bubbling up in her eyes as she looked at the blade, and you internally started freaking out. Who cares what that twat'll say? You leaned against the wall. What? He's not a twat! But She worried. He felt as though you were making her feel worse about everything. Crap, why was keeping a kawaii 1800s Ritz girl so hard? Look, how about this? You said in a gentle tone. Lizzie snapped her head to you because she had never heard you talk in a gentle voice. Well, maybe once, but she couldn't remember. What? She asked out of pure curiosity. What if I take the knife, hear me out, you said it with a small smile when you saw Lizzie about to protest, and keep it until tonight when you're out at the Lord's place and I can place it in your room where no one will have to know that you were the one that took it. You proposed and Lizzie relaxed and smiled. You do that, wonder? She smiled and you smiled back and bowed. She giggled and gave you the blade. You slipped it in your pocket and started to walk Lizzie back to the last place you saw Paula, thinking that she'd still be looking there. Just before Lizzie walked out of the alleyway, you pecked her on the cheek. Lizzie whipped around with a huge blush on her face, but you had already disappeared into the dark of the alley. It was now time to basically break into Lizzie's house. You climbed up a tree and swung yourself onto her balcony and quietly opened the door. You slipped the blade onto her bedside table with a small surprise and then you left. When Lizzie came home that night, she was relieved to see the letter open on the table. She noticed something else. You laughed and blushed again. It was a pink Marguerite. What? How did they get one? She whispered to herself but smiled. She flopped onto her bed with a huge grin on her face and hugged the flower that you left for her. More of these kind of days. That's what she decided she wanted. CL could wait anytime. You to her were more fun. Little did she know that you were thinking the exact same thing. And both of you thought the same thought at the exact same time. It was that you both loved each other.